coach and then transformational coach. But when I was working with people, a lot of them just kept saying, it's like reality itself has shifted for me. And I was like, really? And they said, yeah, because people behave differently, things just show up differently. And it's like there's this kind of magic that's in the air when after we do a session. And I'm like, okay. And that's when I started working with people, I hadn't even thought of a name for the business, because for me it was about mindset and the energy of people. And I'm like, it's got to have some energy in the title. And they're like, no, it's got to have magic in the title because it's magical. And then we're like, you know what? Energetic magic. Let's just go with that. And then I named the company and I named what I do as energetic magic as well. So it's dual purpose.
I
And
like that. Now, when I was a little younger, I would ask my mom for energy for Christmas, and she's like, if I could find it, I'd have it for myself. So it's nice that working with you gets you energy and it shows up like it's magic. So how did you get into events doing coaching?
well, the originally it was just me doing, I started doing group coaching, which were like little events. But then I was looking around and I saw other people are doing bigger things. So I started, I think my New Year's Eve was the biggest event I was doing up until this year, which is like December 31st at 1 p.m. Eastern. I do a workshop called Clearing the Negative Energies and Beliefs of, and you insert the year. So this year, 2021. And I created it on a whim one year and thought, well, let's just see if anyone shows up. And it's sold out because people are like, oh, hell yes, let's clear this stuff out.
It sounds like a really good title.
Yeah, yeah. And so the event got bigger and bigger. And then when COVID hit, it went online and got even bigger. And it's just, yeah, it's the up until I just did this, my first summit, it was the biggest event I would do every year. And it would get me out there, would get me known. People in my group were promoting it for me, so it wasn't just me on my own. I had so much help because people just love the event. And but then this year, uh, I work with Courtney Lyons. She's an automation specialist. She's basically been automating my business. And we were having a discussion about what's going out in the world, on in the world, and what's needed. And we started talking about healers. And we just said, there's a big surge in people going to healers now, right? And not just like energy healers, but naturopaths and nutritionists, and even like yoga teachers and coaches, and people are going to heal mind, body, spirit, like all the different areas. But a lot of them don't have a wealth mindset. And so either they think they're not supposed to charge a lot for what they do because people need it so bad that you're not allowed to charge, or they just don't have a business mindset and they don't know how to run a business and make it grow and make a lot of money. Because I think you should get paid for what you do, no matter what it is, if you're really good at it. Right? So,
I believe
and
that.
yeah, and I came up with the title, the Wealthy Healers Summit, like 2 years ago. And I told her about that. Yeah, I've been sitting on this summit idea, and she's like, "You've been sitting on that for 2 years." No, we have to do this year, right? So she said, "I'm going to partner with you. I'll do the technology side, you do the mindset side, and let's get a whole bunch of speakers in to educate people." And all of a sudden, this thing was just happening, like within minutes of her saying we need to do this. And I'm like, "Oh God, okay, this is real now." Right? So
Wow. I like that. I like when you have an idea, even though it took you 2 years, but you met someone and it all of a sudden came together. And I like that you found a partner that you could work with. So did your partner find you or did you find her?
uh, she was a friend of one of my clients, and then she started working with me a little bit, and then I found out she does automation, and she started to automate my business, and then it just took off from there. So she's basically like my partner in the summit and in an event we're doing moving up. But at the same time, she works for me to help with my business automation. But then I work for her because she hires me to do the mindset work and shift her reality. So it's just this mix that's going on right now.
That's nice that you guys can work together and still partner together and call each other when you need something.
Yeah.
And you know when it's separate and when it's together? Do you have to have a contract for that, or you guys just know?
We don't actually have a contract in place. We probably should, but so far, it's when she's working for me, there's that the employment contract and vice versa. So those are there. But for the summit, it was just one of the things like let's just do it. So
Okay.
yeah, and we
So
do have like we use ThriveCart for business, and in ThriveCart, it's actually got a joint venture feature in there where the contract's built into the system as far as cash and all that stuff and paying out for affiliates and speakers and everything. So it was just it's automatic. I'm working with automation specialists. It was just all built in. So
that's great to have that there. I hope you have an affiliate link for ThriveCard to put in the links below.
yeah, definitely. I can
So
do that.
when you hosted your first event
Yeah.
and you saw that it went really well, did you
Mhm.
know that this was something that was going to be like an annual thing or every 3 months kind of thing?
So we're right now we're looking at doing it every 6 months.
Okay.
So I think 3 months would be too little. I mean, too little time between each event. It took us just over 3 months to put this together, and it was crazy. And and when you're putting your first event together, oh my God! I mean, you probably know this. You think you've got it, you think you know what's there, and then things just popping up. I never accounted for this. I never accounted for this, and then you can spend a lot of time scrambling to get people into place, get processes into place, and especially when you're having speakers come to your event to talk, that they're all with the best intentions, but getting speakers to get their information in and show up at the right time and understand what's going on, it's the equivalent of herding cats. It's just this, oh my God, what is going on?
You know, I've never trusted speakers to put in their own information. I've always went to LinkedIn and got their information and told them, if you agree with this, then yay. If not, you can change it. I'm
Okay.
not sure if I gave you that option, but keep your LinkedIn up to date, people. So when you got the event and you saw that you had a good structure for it and you saw that it took you 3 months to put together, did you write everything down so you have a format for next time?
Well, the thing is, we worked with Kimberly Crow and Jenny Trask, and they're one of the business. They have multiple businesses. Is to put events on. So we worked with their team. They had their spreadsheet. Have you done this? Have you done this? We're doing this. You're doing this, and we just went through the list. And the thing is, the list looks fine. The list looks, oh, this is all we have to do. But the list doesn't say you may have to call the speaker 15 times because they're just not responding. Right.
Understand.
Yeah. So and things like that came up. And one thing that just completely slipped my mind was support. Right. So we knew there were going to be people there for support during the event. Right. That was part of the contract. Those people came in as part of working with Kimberly and Jenny. But then after that, like after the couple of days of the summit, suddenly we're the support. And I'm like, oh, shoot, we need someone in place to be support. So we're not just sitting here. And support doesn't last that long after the summit, especially if you have a good summit and everything's in place. But there's still people every now and then, I can't get into my VIP package. Right. And like,
Oh.
do you know what your password is? No, it was in the email we sent you. Oh, it's just like, we had one person screaming all caps that she couldn't review, couldn't see all the playbacks from the summit. And the playbacks are only available to VIPs. And she wasn't a VIP. She didn't pay for it, right? And then
Oh.
like, okay, we found the problem, but we had like 2 or 3 emails from this woman in all caps screaming at us that she couldn't watch replays, that she wasn't allowed to watch. And I'm like, this is all part of being in a summit, right? Like, now, it wasn't all bad. We got a lot of praise. We got a lot of people asking, when are you going to do it again? A lot of the speakers contacted us and said, we love this. We'd like to be a part of it again. So there was all this great stuff, but there's still all that craziness that you just don't know until you're in the middle of it. And you're like, oh, write this down for next time. So,
Can you tell us some of what were your takeaways from hosting your first event?
okay. So the takeaways is number one, have have people on staff that are going to deal with the speakers, right? Because you're going to have enough stuff to do just Summit itself that chasing up on all the speakers is just going to take up too much of your time. So make sure you've got that if you have speakers at the Summit, and automate as much as you can. We just, it was funny. It was like the day after the Summit, the creator of this program got in touch with Courtney because he was impressed with the Summit, and he's like talking to her about the software he uses. And it's basically one of those, like, you give the speakers a form to fill out, and we need to know your introduction and your talk title and what people are going to learn, and whatever information they want. And he's got this form, and basically his automation scans the form every day and sees, have they filled out everything? Have we got all the information? And if it doesn't, then it sends them an email automatically or sends them a text. And like, we were doing all that manually. And I'm like, wait, there's a software that takes care of this? Oh, hell yes, we're using that next time. So we're just discovering that time zones are the biggest thing, right? So when you're doing a live event, everyone's there, so everyone knows what time is what. But online, we had speakers in New Zealand and England and the different time zones in North America. And it was crazy because people are trying to talk to us in their time zone. We're trying to talk in our time zone, but we're also, Kimberly and her team, they're in the West Coast time zone. We're in East Coast time zone. And what really messed us up is that one of the spreadsheets we're working on was all Pacific time. But then one of the calendars we're using through Google Calendar was automatically changing the times to your local time. So they were coming in Eastern. So we're getting these two conflicting times, and it messes up your brain when you're looking at two different documents in two different time zones. So that's a big thing. If you're going to do a virtual event, you've got to establish this is the only time zone everyone has to talk in, or you're going to be messed up, right? So
I believe that.
So yeah, that was one of the biggest takeaways for us. As much automation as possible, get the time zones right, and and you're gonna have to have time before and after the Summit to take a break from the insanity. Right? So
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite automation tool?
I do not. I have Courtney. So I would say she is my automation tool.
It is good to have help.
Yeah, and so she worries about all that. So she looks and sees what the best, most affordable automation tools are out there, and she's actually really good at finding hidden gems, like new things that are coming out. Because a lot of times when people are bringing out new automation systems, new apps, then they will offer them for a little while for a one-time fee. And so what she does for a bunch of them is she jumps on these things and tests them out. And then if she really likes them, she recommends them to me. So what's happened is, for a bunch of the applications I've been using, we've switched over to these things before they went monthly. So my monthly fees have come down, right? And they never have to go up again because we got in so early. And usually when your business is growing, you see your monthly fees going up, and it's just weird to see it come down for a change.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of AppSumo. It is the shiniest of all shiny objects. And right now is their Black Friday sale. And what I am looking at is Hexomatic. And it is a internet web scraper. And I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be good to find more speaking gigs. It's going to be good for bringing me more speakers to the show.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I'm not sure if you're an AppSumo fan, but definitely check that out.
She talks about it all the time. So Hexomatic is what you call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at right now. I haven't tried it, but it's definitely something I want to look at further. So besides Courtney, do you have anybody else on your team to help you with your events and your business? And how did you know that you needed to hire somebody to help you?
Oh, because I've seen other people do events. And I've seen them do it on their own and go insane. And I've seen them do it with a team, and they're like, okay, this is better. I have a virtual assistant that helps me with like next Monday is the last Monday of the month, and I have an event called Last Mondays. which is me doing 5 webinars and my podcast the last Monday of every month. I start at 9 a.m. and I finish at 11 p.m. Right. So it's, and I do some workshops in there as well, but it's just all these free opportunities to work with me to see what I do. And my assistant, what she does is we record everything. And in each of the webinars, I actually work one-on-one with a couple of people right at the end just to show what I do so people can get a taste of it. And she'll take those videos and take each of the individual sessions and edit them out, put them on YouTube. So we've got this growing library of me working on people on YouTube, and just watching the videos, you can actually get shifts. You can have your reality shifted by watching the video, which is really cool. But then after she's done that, she takes a cool quote from each of the sessions and she creates a meme out of that. And then she puts that on Facebook and on Instagram and I don't know where else, and then the videos go out to LinkedIn and Facebook. And so she does all that in the background and does the promotion for all my events and puts that out everywhere. So I've got her, she's been there for a few years now, just constantly doing that for me, because I used to do that myself and it was way too much time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of repurposing your content. Repurpose.io is really good with that. And Perfect Recall. I love Perfect Recall for making snippets. With Perfect Recall, it will attach to your Zoom call, and you can use the transcripts for that.
Yeah, we
also found that in AppSumo. But
we use Perfect Recall. Yeah, Courtney found it and started implementing it. Yeah, but you're right. It's absolutely amazing, and I just love the fact that you go to the text and you drag like the text, just highlight the text, and it just creates a video based on what you highlight. And I'm like, is that easy? It's really that's it.
What I want from them now is when I copy that text to make that snippet for the video, I want it to let me also copy it so I can have the text. Oh, so right now I have to move it to another platform like a note taker, or I use Phrase for SEO and keyword search. Mm-hmm. So when I take those snippets, I also make them blog posts. So yeah, if I can just copy it right there instead of moving it to another platform, it'd be great. Because I would also, you have to pay a little extra to get the SRT files to make the captions. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Like there might even I can ask Courtney. There might be a way to automate that. She, like if there's a way to automate it, she always finds it. So
yeah. I love automation.
Oh yeah.
So how do you go about finding your speakers for your events?
So the biggest way actually was Kimberly Crow has Speakers Playhouse every Thursday. And because we were working with her, she would promote the event and say, if you want to speak, here's the link, and people would be signing up through there. But then it was also just going through our network. I have a few coaches. I believe everyone needs coaches in different areas of their lives. So just about every one of my coaches said, absolutely, I'll do the event with you. And several of them said, and I know who else would be great for your event. And they sent me more speakers. So you really got to leverage that network of yours. And that's what I did. So the coaches helped. They sent me more speakers. The Kimberly helped. I went out to people that I knew personally and said, hey, you know what? I'm doing this. I think you'd be an amazing speaker for the event. And I brought them in to talk for the event. And that was it. And we got enough people. It was funny because at times we didn't think we were going to get enough. And we were scrambling, and it's like, oh my God, are we going to fill this summit? But we ended up filling every slot, and we had an amazing time. All the speakers were great, except for one. And it's not that she wasn't great. It's just that she got the time wrong and showed up an hour after her talk. So she was so upset. But we, I think we allowed her to record her session. So for the VIP to get all the recordings, the session was still in there.
That was very nice of you to do so. I've had speakers who say they want to be on the show live and they don't show up. Either they forgot or they just ignored all my automations reminders,
Yeah.
and they've asked could they come on later, and I told them that they had to get to the back of the line, and
Mhm.
some of them were okay with that, and some of them was just very upset. I never really thought about doing something recorded later and then showing it later, but maybe I will now.
Okay. But if they missed your show, they shouldn't be upset if they have to go to the back of the line.
Yeah, because I too go to Speakers Playhouse. And
Yeah.
for you guys that don't know, Speakers Playhouse will fill up your schedule quick. And this show is only live on Thursdays. So I book for the month and it's full. And I thought it would be rude of me to ask someone else to give their spot because somebody else forgot theirs.
Hmm.
That's why I do that.
Yeah.
But you know, a pre-recording is not so bad. Maybe I can do something like on a Tuesday with pre-recordings.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
could,
that's a good
that could help
idea.
those people out. But
Yeah.
yeah. And that, yeah, I think that would be really nice of you. But at the same time, I'm thinking, hey, you missed your spot. Go to the back of the line. Right? So
I'm thinking you're giving me good ideas and you're saying I was right the first time. So when you get your talk together and you get your speakers, and I like that you crowdsource getting your speakers. That is a great idea also. So when are you a fan of affiliate marketing, and do you offer your speakers affiliate?
yes, yes. Everything that I do is like if you send me clients, you get paid. That's the way my business functions. And we did the same thing with the event. So we had, if you just want to promote the event, you could get you get a percentage of every ticket. We were offering 40% of every ticket. So you just tell people come to the event. If they show up and they upgrade to VIP, you get 40% of the sale. Every speaker, 40% of the sale. And then we even took it to a different level in that if you were a speaker and you recommended a speaker, then if that speaker made us got a VIP sale, they get 40% of the ticket sale. You get 10% of the ticket sale, and then we get the other 50%. So because that speaker wouldn't be there at my summit if it wasn't for you. So I'm rewarding you. Like that's the way I do everything. And
That's nice. So
it
ThriveCart must be really good for that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because you pay the one-time fee for ThriveCard. That's the other thing I love. It was a one-time fee, and now I've just got ThriveCard for life.
Yeah,
And it's got
I
the
missed it.
adventure. You got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, it's amazing for affiliates. And we had such a good response because of that. And the other thing I did was because of the way ThriveCart works, it wasn't the affiliate's not just tied to the summit, it's tied to me. So if anyone came to the summit, had a great time, thought, oh, it's cool, I want to work with Shiraz, and then they start working with me later, because they're still listed in the system as your client, you're still going to get whatever commission I give for whatever program they give later on, even if it's 2-3 years down the line, it's in the system.
Wow.
And that's it. Because I don't think the reward should ever stop. You helped me out. That person wouldn't be in my life if it wasn't for you. So I'm going to keep rewarding you.
I like that. So speakers, affiliates, how do you feel about sponsors?
Oh, well, I'm always going to say yes to sponsors. They're going to give
Do
me
you reach out
gifts.
to them? Do they reach out to you?
So we were reaching out because this is our first summit and no one really like knew us or what we're doing or if it's going to be a success. We didn't get any sponsorships this round, but now people are interested. They saw what happened. They saw the response. So I'm sure we're going to get more sponsorships for the next time we do this. And yeah, and you've got to look at it like, what do you want from the sponsor? Because a lot of times when people think sponsor, they think, well, we want the sponsor to give us money. And that's not the way you want to think about it. You want to think, how can this really improve the event? Like, I was talking to someone about sponsorships and he said, that for an event that's, 100 people, even like 1,000, 2,000 people, if it's a live event, if you go to Coke and say, we're only going to serve Coke Will you sponsor it? It's no skin off their backs to send 5,000 cans of Coke to you. Like, it's just a complete write-off for them. And you get free Coke for your whole event. Right? Right? So there's all these different ways. And one event I just went to a little while ago, I got this box, which is full of all these little things from about 20 different sponsors. and it's like keychains and phone holders. You could have the phone up at your desk, and sponges and squeezy toys and pens and stuff like that. And just all these sponsors contributed to the event, and these people just had to mail it out. And so,
Wow.
yeah.
So you had like a boxer, and everybody just sent something to that one vendor, and then that the boxer shipped it out.
Yeah, pretty much. So all the sponsors gave in, then they just sent out. I don't know if I would do something like that, because then I'm stuck creating all these boxes and sending them out to people, or my team is. But if there was a way I could do it that, a lot of the sponsors can just automatically send things out, it would be cool, except then these people are getting all these things in the mail all separate instead of a single box. So there's got to be a way to coordinate that somehow. I just haven't figured it out. So
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of I get boxes all the time. I'm trying to find one to show you, but they're gone right now. But it's one place. They make the boxes and they put the stuff inside, and then they put your branding on all the stuff.
oh, okay.
And you can ask your sponsors if they want to pay you to have their name put on stuff too. So
So
like with your
everyone sends it
keychains or
to that
water
one
bottles.
place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I guess it makes sense that there is a service out there for that. So
Yeah.
okay.
I had a list, and I will send you that list when I have it again. But it's a good thing to be organized, and I am not. But yeah. So what's your favorite event platform?
I don't know. Like we tried a few different event platforms, and we used Hey Summit for this one, and it was cool in a lot of ways, but then in other ways we're just like, I don't like that. Like the amount of emails that Hey Summit sends out to remind people for each event seems excessive to me.
Oh.
But the platform is set up. It's got affiliate stuff in the platform, so you don't have to go outside to another affiliate. And we did anyways, because we love Thrivecart. We just hooked it up. But that's built in. Speakers can come in and see how many people have booked their events and how many affiliate sales they've made. So they've got that whole dashboard going on there. So it's really well done in that sense. But another event I went to, it was just it wasn't really a platform at all. They just had a homepage, and they had a link, like a button there. You click this and it takes you into the Zoom event, and you click the other button, which I think I definitely want to do next time. We'll see if we can get this ready. But it was the support. So it takes you into a Zoom room where the support people are there, and they just actually talk to you. So it's not over email. They're like, oh, just tell us what's going on. We'll help get it fixed. And then on the same page, you see all the sponsors are there. And you could actually even click on a sponsor, and sponsors have people in a Zoom chat that's a sponsor booth. And it was just basically one big web page with a bunch of links on it that looked really, really pretty. And it worked.
So in AppSumo right now, there is something called PageMaker. And what you're talking about, people have called this a dashboard. And they hook up their Zoom links or AirMeet links or whatever platform you're using. You hook those links up there. And I'm thinking PageMaker would be a good automation platform to make this dashboard. Haven't used it yet, but I definitely have it. I'm definitely going to try this out. I am a big fan of Hey Summit.
Yeah. And like I said, we did it on Hey Summit. The event was a success on Hey Summit. There's just a few little things that you have to learn how to work with Hey Summit. And I think that's going to be the same with any platform you're on. But it's just like, it's trying to find that sweet spot of how much do you email people so they show up for the events, but not email them so much that they start marking you as spam. Right.
Yeah.
So, because it's, and it's a hard one because some people need that prodding. And some people are like, stop sending me emails, God damn it. Right? So,
yeah. So I know that you can turn off some of the emails. I think they send about 10 or 16, something like that.
like that. Yeah.
But yeah, you if you're using Zoom, Zoom's going to send out some emails too. So you definitely got to turn off Zoom. And I'm going to say if they're sending out, if Hey Summon is sending out 10, should probably turn off maybe 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I again, I'm not in the technical side. I'm just doing my stuff. Right. So I didn't know what was going on in the background, but I just know that we had 40 speakers. So if you signed up for the summit on a whole, you got at minimum 40 emails coming in. Right. So for some people, it's like, stop it. Right? Other people are like, ooh, that one's coming up. Cool. Thank you for reminding me. So.
How do you feel about SMS, the text messaging marketing?
I find that people respond way better to SMS than to email. And you've got the opt out in it, so people can just opt out if they're getting the SMS is too much. But yeah, people the email, because the email you tend to have all the other things that you're subscribed to, and then the regular work emails, and things can get lost really easily, or it can just become white noise. Like I know actually with one company I work with, the Beautiful Life magazine, it was they'd be sending me these emails, and for me it was white noise for a while. It's like, oh, that's just promotional stuff, but there's actually some important emails in there. And it wasn't until the Ronnie, the girl that runs it, sent me an email that just said, open me, all caps. Then I'm like, what the hell is that? And then I read it, I'm like, oh, I've missed some things. I'm being scolded now. So,
definitely had that happen.
But I find with the text message, I will read it as opposed to just scan the title quickly. I will actually open up the text messages. So I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah. For me, I do both. If I know who you are and I'm a big fan of yours, I will open it either way. I do like having the reminders in a text. Sometimes it's hard for me to, because I don't know how to do it, type in that URL from the text so I can have it on my desktop. But I know there's a way that you can hook up your phone to your desktop, but I don't know how to do that yet.
What type of phone and laptop to use or desktop to use?
Oh, I have a Lenovo desktop and I have a LG phone.
Okay, I see. Because you might be able to do it using Google, but I'm on Apple everything, and in Apple I can just copy it off my phone and paste onto my laptop, and it's just seamless, and I love that so much.
I'm not a fan of Apple, only because I've bought 2 of them and they stopped working right after the warranty ended, and they wouldn't help me. So I've learned my lesson, and my lesson is not to buy anything Apple ever again.
Okay. But you had a different experience than me, because my last laptop before this one lasted 10 years.
Wow.
And at one point I took it in because there was an issue with the battery, and they just popped out the battery, put a brand new one, and didn't charge me a thing, and said, take it home. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to work with you guys forever, because that was a $200 battery. Right?
Wow. So they just looked at me and said, we can't help you. And they wouldn't even talk to me. So like, wow. But we probably live in different areas.
That's it. It's like, which Apple representative are you getting? The one that's really nice to you, or the one that's like, oh, just get the hell out of my face, man? So,
yeah. I've met 2 of those. Wow. Customer service is so important. And I bet you got good customer service, and that's why you keep getting more people to your event. Do you have any tips on customer service, or how you train your team to have good customer service?
It's, I think this goes for any customer service. I've been in retail and I've been on tech support, and now we're doing the summits, and it's being as nice as possible to whoever's working with you, while still trying to get the point across, right? And like, we had to send such a nice, polite email to this girl that's screaming at us that she can't get into something she's not allowed to get into, and we're like, sorry, ma'am, but this blah 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 blah. And you've got to have that thick skin, but you've also got to remember when you're talking to someone that it's not you they're yelling at. It's the system, the summit or the event and everything. And a lot of people seem to take it personally. And in the email, they may take it personally and say, this is all your fault, but they don't know who you are. They're just directing anger someplace, right? So for me on the other side, I will do things like, if I'm calling up to complain about something with customer service, I will preface it. And so like someone will pick up and be like, hi, this is Julia. How can I help you? I'll be like, Julia, listen, I know this is not your fault. And I know you're probably a very nice person, but what's happened has really pissed me off. So I'm going to yell at you. Don't take it personally, because I know this is being recorded. Right? And then after I'm done yelling, I hope we can resolve this issue and come and take care of things. And by that point, Julia's usually giggling or laughing out loud. And she's like, okay, sir, we're ready to go. And then I'll just say my piece. Right? So that way I get to yell if I'm really upset, but the person doesn't take it personally. And then I also get great service afterwards, because I said I'm doing it for the recording so that they can hear how angry I am. So
that is nice and smart.
yeah, and that way I usually get great service. But when you're on the customer service thing, it's, you're fielding 90% people upset and 10% people, well, maybe like 60% people upset, 30% people confused, and 10% people actually saying, oh my God, you are wonderful. We actually get those in customer support. So I was surprised when they come in.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, I'm not sure. Have you ever been to a TEV or TVE event, the virtual event on virtual events?
No, I have not.
Okay,
That
really,
sounds
really
interesting.
fun. It's hosted by Blue Melbourne and Barry. I can't think of her last name right now, but
Okay.
they're married, and they have this event on virtual summits. And we were talking about dashboards earlier, and in their dashboard, one of their links goes to customer service or customer support, like
Yeah.
someone who knows about their products and their upsells.
Yeah.
Um, what was it? I think they have about 20, no, I'm sorry, four. They have about 4 Zoom rooms dedicated to customer service. And
Okay.
I thought that was great by itself.
Yeah.
If you go to any of their events, you'll see they have a whole Zoomzilla set up with about 25 Zoom rooms set up.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming these are really big events if you need 25
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yes. And there have these 40-inch TV screens for monitors. It's great. It is a really nice setup. And they go through their whole setup of how to use the TV screens, how to hook it up to the computers, ATM minis for switchers, stuff like that.
Wow.
It's really nice. I just want to throw that in there.
I will check it out.
Yeah, they have a Facebook page, the event on virtual events. So yeah. So you've been in business with Energetic Magic for like 7 years,
Yep.
and you've hosted a few events. How many events have you hosted now?
Well, last Mondays, I do the last Monday of every month, and I've been doing that for 4 years now. So 4 times 12, I guess. So that's
Wow.
happening New Year's Eve every year. So about, yeah, I think I started doing that six years ago. So then it's that. And then every now and then I just do some sort of an event during the year just for promoting a new product I've got coming out or a program or something like that. So I've been doing a bunch of events, but I've never done something the scope of the Wealthy Healer Summit with all the guest speakers and everything ever. So that was just taking things to that next level and learning so much. Oh my God, so much I learned doing that.
Learning by putting or hosting that event, or learning from your speakers that you brought together?
Learning by hosting the event and from the speakers. Like some of the whole thing was interview style. And when I'd be talking to some of the speakers, I was just like, oh my God, I'm not doing that. Or, oh, we can do that. And, oh, this is a new idea I've never heard of. And a couple of times it was the speakers were people I knew, but they were just telling a story that had never come up in our conversations. And I'm sitting there going, okay, new information about you. This is interesting. So it was fun. So yeah, I learned a lot from the speakers, but I also learned so much doing that event and what to do, what to put in place, and what not to do next time. So you got to do it. You can't just keep waiting and thinking about it and and saying, when I have all my ducks, you're never going to have your ducks in a row. I can guarantee you, you're never going to have them in a row. But after you do that first event, then things will really start to pick up.
Yeah. Do you host any events in October?
In October,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah, besides your one you do on the last Mondays.
I don't think I have us like formally schedule anything in other than like my regular workshops. I don't have an event. No. Why?
Okay. So in addition to, this is an idea I have right now for you. In addition to your last Mondays, I know I just threw out stuff, but in addition to your last Mondays, October is a time to get ready for the next year.
Yeah.
So in addition to that last Monday, have something to release that energy of the past and get ready to accept the new energy that's coming in for the future of the next year. And when you have your New Year's Eve, you can have like a little revisit to that. Maybe.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
throwing it
Well,
out there. You don't have to accept it or not.
I get that, but the New Year's Eve is that whole principle. It's the last day of the year. Let's let everything go today and move on. But I can see where you're going with the October thing, and that's kind of why we scheduled the Wealthy Healers Summit when we did, because we wanted to do it before Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff, but close enough to the end of the year that's like, here's some new ideas, here's some new things that you can take into next year. But yeah, I can see where you're talking about. It's like it's harvest season. Let's harvest all the crap from the year and get set for the new year.
Yeah. It's like was it one of the last quarters or something like that? It's when I make my calendars, is when I set up my word for the next year. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's why I said that, because I thought it went with what you had already going on.
Okay. And you start that all in October.
Yeah, because I don't want to wait till the last minute, because sometimes I drag my feet. Sometimes procrastination gets me. So I know when October comes, I got 31 days to have this done before I'm ready to move on to something else.
Okay, you're better than me, because with me it's just I try to make December a very light month, and that's when I start planning out next year and get it all set up. I just don't book as many clients or events and stuff like that in December. But yeah,
for me, December, I just want to eat, drink, and be merry, walk around and do it again. So if it's all done in October, I'm not thinking about it. I know when January comes, I can hit the ground running, but still have time to just lollygag in December, because there's a lot of stuff that's happening in December.
Yeah. I'm not arguing. I'm hoping that when I'm planning out next year, it doesn't take the entire month of December to do it, or else I'm doing something really wrong. I'm hoping it's just going to take like 4 or 5 days out of December, and then I'll be good. But we'll find out, because December's coming up real quick.
Yeah. So as I told you, I'm a big fan of automation, and I like to write things down. For me, writing is magic. And if I don't write it, it really didn't happen. So if I write it down and I'm looking at my notes, I can find automations for it and I can set it up. So for me next year, I want to have like webinars. I want to have challenges. I want all of that to lead into a live event to lead to group coaching leading to masterminds leading to one-on-one, stuff like that. And right now that's all written out, and I am, because I did lollygag, I am just now finding the automations for this. And I'm also trying to use what I have, because I don't want to be a shiny object junkie.
I should probably get you connected to Courtney so you guys can geek out on automation.
It's so much fun. You push one button, you set it up, and then it does it stuff for you by itself. Yep. That's amazing.
Yep. Oh, believe me, I love it because I do so much less work now because of automation. And some of the things I didn't even think I could automate get automated, which is just amazing to me. It's just like, what? I could do that. Because back, before COVID, where we could be in the actual same office space, she'd be walking by me, looking at my laptop, watching me do something. She's like, you can automate that. And then like 20 minutes later, she'd walk by and you can automate that, right? And that. Right? And I'm like, what?
Yeah, we need t-shirts. You can automate that. Or there's an automation for that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, Shiraz, earlier you spoke of an event coming up this week. Is that right? Is it this week or next week?
Monday.
Monday. Every Monday, right? Or
Last
the end
Monday
of every Monday.
Every month, yes.
Last Monday of every month. One more time, would you tell us about that event, please?
Okay. So I am going to be doing 5 webinars. First one starts at 9 a.m. The last one starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. And my podcast, which is happening at like 3 p.m. Eastern. So they're all 1 hour, they're free, they're going on throughout the day. And in it, you will learn different principles and get educated on business, on money, on success, on mindset. And at the end of each one, I work personally on 2 of the people that show up and shift your reality on the spot. And people don't realize that you can get your reality shifted in as little as 5 minutes. And things can start changing in your life. And I demonstrate that at the end of each of these workshops. And that's happening for free on Monday. And it's called Last Mondays. It's called that because I used to call it Magical Mondays, or I went through a few different titles, but then people kept saying, when is it? It's Monday. And then they're like, oh, I was there on the first Monday. No, it's the last Monday. And then finally I'm like, you know what? We're calling it Last Mondays because otherwise people just don't know when to show up for this thing.
Sometimes I feel like English is just very hard. I go through drive-thrus. I ask for bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, and I always get a sausage biscuit. And for me, they don't sound anything alike. But no matter where I go, they don't understand me.
Yeah, I've been fascinated. I remember asking for I'm not a fan of cheese on my breakfast muffin, so I went for a bacon egg sandwich, and I said, just make sure there's no cheese on it. And they sent it to me, and it was just a bun with cheese. I'm like, there's no bacon or egg on this. Like,
Wow. Like those either the boxes muffle our voices or people just want to hear what they want to hear.
Yep.
All right, Shiraz, please let us know, besides the Last Mondays, where can we reach you? Where on social is your favorite place to hang out, and where can we meet you?
So my website is energeticmagic.com. And on social media, I spend most of my time on Facebook. But with my social media, it's not so much me on there talking about my business. If you find me on social media, and here's the cool thing right now, is up until the end of the year, my name on Facebook is Santa Shiraz. And I do this every year. I change my name at the end of the year because now if I like one of your posts, Facebook says Santa likes your post. And people love that at the end of the year. And my Facebook feed is constantly filled with jokes and inspirational quotes and sarcasm. And I know people have told me if I am not feeling well or I need to pick me up, all I do is go to Facebook and look at your wall, and it just brightens my day. And that's the purpose of me on Facebook. I will put in personal stuff and things that are going on in my life every now and then, but most of the time you just go on there to feel better. That's the purpose of my Facebook page. So.
Your newsletter is pretty good too.
Oh, thank you. I try to put what's going on and throw my humor and my sarcasm into everything I do. And I know some people have said, I'll read it just to see where you start being snarky and make jokes. So.
It's always a good time. Well, Shiraz, I don't want to hold you past an hour, but I appreciate you coming and sharing your time, energy, and knowledge with us.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
All right. Catch you later.
All right.